In Enugu, a city where red earth roads met grand houses behind tall gates, there lived a woman named Adaora Nwankwo. To anyone who glanced at her life from the outside, she had everything: wealth, beauty, and a husband who gave her anything she asked for. But if you stepped inside her mansion, you would see a different truth. Adaora had one weakness she could never hide. She despised housework more than she despised poverty itself. Cooking, sweeping, folding clothes, even giving simple instructions to her staff was beneath her. And because of that, every maid who entered her compound eventually ran out, broken and humiliated. Her husband, Nwankwo, was a successful oil and gas contractor. His business often carried him between Enugu and Port Harcourt, leaving Adaora with nothing but free time and unchecked power. She spent her days draped in silk robes, sipping Maltina, scrolling through her phone, and barking orders at whichever poor girl had been unfortunate enough to take up employment in her house. None of them lasted long. One maid was forced to iron her wrapper at 2 a.m. Another was drenched with palm oil for daring to drink yogurt without permission. Yet another was locked outside for hours because she mistakenly used Adaora's scented soap. Each time, Chike pleaded with his wife, "Ada, please treat them like human beings. They are not your slaves." But Adaora would roll her eyes. Good maids are hard to find these days. These girls of nowadays have no home training. She enjoyed the control. To her, cruelty felt like authority. Then, one quiet Thursday, Adaora's tired eyes caught a message in a women's WhatsApp group. Reliable maid available. Very quiet. 25K per month. Contact below. It was cheap, suspiciously cheap, but Adaora was exhausted from shouting at the last girl. She dialed the number. The line picked after a single ring. "Hello," Adaora said. Silence. Just faint breathing. Then a soft voice, calm and dry. "I'm available. I can start tomorrow." Adaora frowned. "Don't you want to know the address?" The voice replied flatly, "I already know the house." Then the call ended. The next morning at 7 a.m., Adaora heard the bell at her gate. Curious, she drew back her curtains. Standing outside was a young woman in a faded yellow wrapper and worn white slippers. Her hands were empty, her eyes fixed directly on the camera above the gate, unblinking. When she finally stepped into the compound, she did not greet, did not smile. She simply looked around slowly, as if she had once lived there. Adaora narrowed her eyes. "You're the maid?" The girl nodded once. "Yes, Ma. My name is Ngozi." Her skin looked pale, her lips dry, her voice distant. What unsettled Adaora most was her calmness, an unnatural calmness. From the moment she entered the house, Ngozi began to clean. No instructions, no chatter, no sound of slippers dragging. By noon, the mansion looked new. She dusted the chandeliers, polished the staircase rails, scrubbed the generator cage outside, all without being told. Adaora, who was used to shouting and repeating herself, almost felt disarmed. That night, when Chike called from Port Harcourt, Adaora sighed. "This new girl, she's strange. She doesn't talk, she doesn't ask questions. It's like she's a ghost." Her husband chuckled. "You always complain when they talk too much. Now you've found one who's quiet, and you're still not satisfied. Just don't chase her away before I return." But Adaora didn't laugh. She couldn't shake the feeling that Ngozi's silence carried weight. At exactly 2:11 a.m., Adaora woke to a sound. A faint, haunting humming, drifting through the corridor like mist. Heart racing, she grabbed her phone for light and opened her door a crack. Ngozi was standing in front of the hallway mirror, still in her yellow wrapper. She wasn't cleaning. She wasn't praying. She was talking, but not with her mouth. Her reflection in the mirror was moving on its own, smiling, nodding, whispering back at her. Adaora shut the door quickly, her skin prickling. She lay awake till dawn, terrified. The next morning, when Ngozi brought her a tray of tea, Adaora snapped. "Who told you I take tea every morning?" Without looking up, Ngozi answered softly, "You told me yesterday." Adaora froze. She hadn't. Days passed, and the house grew colder, quieter, almost too clean. The mirrors gleamed unnaturally, and Adaora began to notice her reflection lagging behind, smiling too long. Worse, her husband's number suddenly went dead. His WhatsApp disappeared. She searched through her wardrobe in panic one evening and found a folded, old photograph, a picture of her house years ago, before renovations. Kneeling at her gate in torn clothes was a little girl she once chased away violently. A girl who had begged for food. It was her, Ngozi. That night, the mirrors shifted again. Her reflection blinked too slowly, its eyes watching even when she turned away. Ngozi appeared behind her, whispering, "If I remove them, where will you hide from yourself?" Adaora slapped her, but the girl only smiled faintly and walked away. By the third night, Adaora's house had changed. Lights flickered, doors locked on their own, and the mirrors pulsed with eerie life. She tried smashing one, but instead of shattering, it screamed. From the darkness, Ngozi's voice floated. "You shouldn't have done that." Neighbors claimed they heard nothing, but by the weekend, Adaora Nwankwo was gone. No one ever saw her again. Months later, the mansion was sold cheaply to a banker, his wife, and their little daughter. They repainted, filled it with laughter, and ignored the mirrors because they looked expensive. One afternoon, the wife walked into the hallway to find her daughter whispering at the mirror. "Tenny, who are you talking to?" The little girl turned, smiling innocently. "The auntie in the yellow wrapper. She said she lives here now." That night, the husband casually mentioned, "Did you see the girl who cleaned the compound this morning?" The wife frowned. "We didn't hire anyone." Yet every morning, the floors gleamed, the air smelled faintly of lavender, and tiny footprints marked the corridor. Ngozi had never left. Moral of the story: treat those who serve you with dignity. Comfort built on cruelty rots into a curse. You can fire a maid, but you can never chase away the vengeance of the forgotten.